All right, shalom, y'all. Um, doing this is part two to the 6 qualities for a successful relationship. And like I said, I'm continuing um, right where I left off. But I'll do a brief recap for those who might have missed what I talked about in part one of it. Um, and what I was talking about is the 6 qualities that you have to have in a relationship in order for it to be successful. And um, part of the way I've the way this was developed was, one, of course, it's all backed up biblically. Um, so, like I said, if you have questions about any of the stuff I'm gonna bring out, I have no problem explaining it. Just put it in the comments or something like that. And then also, um, the way I've the way this was developed is, number one, I do a lot of relationship counseling, and number two, by experience, because I've been through a lot of this. I was in the position where I had it all wrong and I didn't understand it, and so I've actually been through it. So it's experience, and then, like I said, it can be backed up biblically. But anyway, so to recap the 6 qualities, there's 3 on both sides, and in doing these, so there's 3 for the woman, 3 for the man to do, and in fulfilling these qualities, it creates the 7th quality, which is love. Okay. Um, and it all perfectly melds together, because the 7th quality, love, is what? Keeping Yah's commandments. And I'll show you where all this stuff is Torah, it's book, it's Yah's law, statutes, commandments. But anyway, so let's get into these qualities, do a brief recap. So for the man, the 3 qualities are going to be affection. Okay, this is what he needs to do in order for that woman to be attracted to him, in order to have a fruitful long-term relationship. These 3 need to be there. Okay, so affection, and this is the one that everybody gets, is pushed all the time. And I really don't have to spend a whole bunch of time teaching on it, because people kind of know what it is, because that's the main thing pushed by this Greco-Roman uh, society. So affection. The second one is direction. Okay. Um, Being a leader, a wise leader, making wise decisions, stuff like that. That's the one we're going into today. We're going to get down on that. We're going to go in depth on that. And the third one is correction. Uh, Being assertive, being willing to correct the woman if she's off. You see what I'm saying? And so those are the 2 heavy ones. And when I counsel people in relationships, and the woman's all pissed at the man and he can't figure out why, and she's telling him, well, it's this, well, it's that, and he's just racking his brain and he can't figure out why the relationship's going down the drain. After doing a little bit of it's just through experience, asking certain questions, it always comes down to the direction and the correction. And like I said, with these qualities, if you're doing any 2 of them, your relationship will survive. Okay, it'll be rocky, but it'll survive. But if you're doing all 3, it will thrive. That woman will be all into you. Okay, but a lot of times dudes are not doing 2 of them, and typically the 2 of them they're not doing are the direction and the correction, the leadership, and being willing to be assertive and correct that woman if she's off or something like that. And it's a turnoff because what? You're not being a leader. They really can't look up to you. But we're going to get into that more. So just to recap for the other three on the woman's side. Okay. So on the woman's side, it's again affection. Okay. But we're talking about a different type of affection because like uh the affection that a man gives to a woman is kind of the romance, the dating, dinners, talking nice, being sweet, doing stuff like that. Okay. The affection for a woman to a man is, you know, doing that thing, throwing that thing to him, giving him that, you know, you get it. So anyway, so it's a more sexual affection for a man. Okay. So we're talking affection. Okay. The second one is going to be nurturing caregiving. Okay. And you could kind of, I would say caregiving. Okay. Not nurturing would go under the affection. So let's just call it caregiving. Okay. So that'd be the second one for the woman to give to the man is the caregiving. Okay. And caregiving would be like cooking, cleaning, taking care of his clothes, stuff like that. I understand in this modern age, it can be difficult to do that. You know what I'm saying? With work and stuff like that. Okay. But we could go into that. And then the third one is being submissive. Okay. Not being hard headed, nagging, strong willed, you know. And like I said, I'm going to do a whole thing on that one because our brothers have to be patient with our women because they've been let down by men when you begin, because I've researched into this topic, and our women have been let down. Like I always say, you look at that stunning statistic, it says 1 out of 2, half of our women have been raped or molested by the time they turn 20. These men have let them down. A lot of dudes are just lust-filled dogs and don't know how to control their lust and sexuality. They've been bombarded with pornography on internet, and they don't know how to overcome that thing. Like I said, I had to deal with all that, and I overcame it, and I teach lessons on how to overcome that thing. So understand that you're gonna have to win them over to being submissive to you, and that's why I'm doing this lesson on on the second quality for the men, which is direction. And that's what we're going to go into now is direction. When I say direction, what is direction? Is making wise decisions and directing the family. And as you do that and you begin making wise decisions and you're directing the family, and the woman begins to see that, okay, he's not an idiot. He's making wise decisions. He's thinking things out, and that's not, oh, I got to think, excuse me, I got to figure everything out and I got to be, no, it's when I'm talking about using wisdom is sometimes your wife is on a whole nother level in certain areas. It might be financially. It might be real estate, investment wise, whatever the area might be, she might be very knowledgeable in it. So when it comes time to make that decision, you seek wise counsel. She might be wise on that. You take into consideration what she's saying, and then you make the decision on it. And you have to be willing, because there's situations that come up that I have to make decisions on that I know is just it might disappoint her or cause an argument, and it's not a sin to get in an argument. You know what I'm saying? And I'll go in on all that in another video. But I'm bold enough, I'm man enough to know, hey, look, I got foresight. God has blessed me with the gift to, to be the head and to see ahead, to see past my emotions, stuff like that. So even though this isn't the popular decision that everybody's gonna be happy about, I gotta make it, you know. And hey, and I've gotten confirmation on that before. I mean, my wife has admitted she knows she can rest, be at peace with my decision making because she knows I'm not an idiot. You know what I'm saying? She's seen me make decisions, and then she's seen the outcome, and she can rest at peace with that. And I'm just telling you, I've seen it firsthand in my family, with friends, with people I've had to counsel, where like, look, your woman's all pissed off and treating you like garbage, and she don't want you touching her because you're making dumb decisions, and you're putting her livelihood, her life, her career, her whatever she's built up in her life, you're putting it at risk because you make dumb decisions, and she could see that in you. And um, you know, that's a turnoff. Because like I said, that's one of those three, you know. Um, so, and then, like for me, even if I had a woman, like, because some dudes will marry a woman who's highly educated and everything like that. Well, dude, you need to get to her level. I mean, wisdom isn't a college degree. Wisdom is just making um, wise decisions. Make whether it be relationship stuff, when you're saying certain things to her, all that. So you have to develop yourself, develop your personality. Develop wherever you and developing wisdom comes with self-examination. I got areas I look at in my life that I see a pattern. You know what? I keep doing this. Let me get this thing worked out. You know what I'm saying? And I seek and I do work on it and I get it worked out. Sometimes I gotta pray fast, seek the Lord on it, get that thing worked out. Cause a woman is a barometer to who you are as a man. So it's like if a woman see you struggling with lust and you just weak and you can't control yourself in certain situations, that's gonna be a turnoff. Like, and that's coming from experience, something I had to fix in myself. You see what I'm saying? Um, so, and like I said, as you through self examination and looking at yourself and getting yourself right and all that, as you develop yourself and get yourself right, it and she sees it manifesting. God got them wired up to be attracted to that. You see what I'm saying? So, um, and like I said, that's where all that comes from. So let me see. I didn't have my scriptures pulled up. Let me pull up some scriptures. Let me see what I got here. Backing. Uh, so here's one I read a lot. It's 1 Peter chapter 3 verse 7. It says, "Likewise, ye husbands, dwell with them according to knowledge, giving honor unto the wife as unto the weaker vessel, and as being heirs together of the grace of life, that your prayers be not hindered." So you got to dwell with them according to wisdom and know that they're the weaker vessel. And so that's understanding, like, because I run a lot of dudes. I'm counseling a dude now who And one of the things I need to do a lesson on is a lot of dudes meet women. I mean, a lot of dudes come into this truth, and then their woman isn't in the truth, and it's a struggle. And you got to dwell with them according to the week of rest. You got to be long suffering. You got to be patient and understand how to properly win them over to this truth with wisdom. Um, a lot of dudes. Let me turn this off so it don't keep making noise. So yeah, so a lot of dudes don't try to win their women when she's not in the truth, and they don't try to win their women over according to wisdom. They just kind of try to slam it on her, impose it on her, and that don't work, and it creates a bunch of contention. I'm gonna do a whole video on, winning them over when your wife's not in the truth. Same thing for the men, but you gotta dwell with them according to knowledge and honor them as a weaker vessel. Hey, they're the weaker vessel, understanding what they've been through because of lack of real men who are willing to stand up, put their foot down, even if they're going to get mad. Because that's the way I am. I don't care if you get your feelings hurt. I don't, like, if it needs to be done or if it needs to be said, I'm going to bring it out according to the way Yah's word mandates it. And whether it be correction, stuff like that. And people who know me, they know I'm brutally transparent. And in accordance with Yah's word, I'm being righteous transparent, though. Because it's like you can't be so transparent where you're just offending people and pushing people away from you. On the same note, a lot of folks, they need correction and they have a hard time receiving it. That is one of the main curses on Israel. If you read or issues with Israel, they say we're a stiff-necked people, man. We don't like getting cut with truth, what I'm saying? Anyway, I'm getting off the subject a little bit. But let me see what any other verses I might have here. So a good one, I think there's something good here in Ephesians chapter 5, verse 23. Okay, peace. Let me see. So there's some good truth backing this up here. So I'm going to pull it up because a lot of people will quote the first part and they won't quote the end. So Ephesians is chapter 5, verse 23. And what it says is, I'll start a little higher. It says, submitting yourselves one to another in the fear of God. Wives, submit yourselves unto your own husbands as unto the Lord. For the husband is the head of the wife, even as Christ is the head of the church, and he is the Savior of the body. Therefore, as the church is subject unto Christ, so let the wives be unto their own husbands in everything. But it tells the husbands, love your wives, even as Christ also loved the church and gave himself for it, that he might sanctify, cleanse it with the washing of water by the word. Okay, that he might present it to himself a glorious church, not having spot, wrinkle, or blemish. And one of the things, and I'm gonna read, but I just want to bring this out. And one of the things I always say is, like, Christ's relationship with the church, with our people, is the same. It is like, if you're a man, it's what you need to look to, or if you're a woman, it's what you need to look for to gauge whether your man is leading you righteously, or if you're a man, to gauge whether you're leading your wife righteously. And how did Christ love the church? How did he cleanse and sanctify the church? Was it all romantic and giving roses and stuff like that, even when they did something bad? No. He'd warn them, he'd be patient, and then he'd come down on them. It wasn't always, cupcakes and flowers and stuff like that. but that's what gets pushed a lot when this subject gets taught. You know, it gets taught in a feel good way, so nobody get their feelings hurt. But I'm about stuff that works, like, because the stuff I'm saying is stuff I've seen, stuff I've had to counsel people through, stuff I've experienced, and the solutions is stuff that I've watched work and turn the table on situations that were getting ready to end in divorce or worse, you know. Okay, so it says, so that he might present it to himself a glorious church, not having spot or wrinkle or any such thing, but that it should be holy and without blemish. So, like, if your woman's off and you see something off, you gotta use wisdom to bring her um, into a righteous walk or whatever the sin is. You know, it's your job, and not, woman, you gonna do it. You gotta use wisdom. Sometimes, hey, you know what? I'm not worrying about that right now. It's not the time, you know, and that's a that comes with experience and something that a man has to grow in. I mean, and even me, it's something I'm still growing in. That's real talk, okay? So ought men to love their wives as their own bodies. He that loveth his wife loveth himself. Brother put it a real good way. I was watching a brother teach on this. He's like, so if you cut your hand or your hand got arthritis, would you just hack it off? No, that's part of your body. But dudes get frustrated with their women and they so quick to just cut that part of their body off and move on. No, you can't be that way. You gotta slowly try to repair that part of the body and nurse it back and compensate for it like a bum leg. You know what I'm saying? You know, if you got a bad knee, you're gonna cut your whole leg off? No, you're gonna wrap it up, put some ice on it, you know, stretch it a little better. You know, some people go to the doctor, get a cortisone shot or whatever they do, you know, but you ain't gonna just, oh man, this knee keeps hurting. Cut this leg off. Boom. They ain't got, you know what I'm saying? So, like I said, it's just a word bringing out good analogies right there. So it says, so ought men to love their wives as their own bodies. He that loveth his wife loveth himself. And love, again, like I said, I'll do a breakdown on biblical love versus this so-called Rome love, this romantic love. Two different definitions. Love according to the Bible is Yah's commandments. Love according to the world is an emotional feeling. You see what I'm saying? So there's a deception there. So he that loveth his wife loveth himself. It's not all flowers and cupcakes and cookies. It's affection, but it's correction and direction also. Okay? So it says, for no man ever yet hated his own flesh, but nourisheth and cherisheth, even as the Lord the church. Again, look at how Yah dealt with the church. When they was off, he was patient, long-suffering with them, but at a certain point, he'd come down on them and discipline them. You know what I'm saying? For no man ever yet hated his own flesh. And it says, I'm skipping the next verse. It says, for we are members of his body, of his flesh, and of his bone. For this cause shall a man, so it says, leave his father and mother, he shall be joined unto his wife, and they two shall be one flesh. So you're one body. And it's given the analogy of the body, you know, which is a good analogy for that. So yeah, so like I said, just recapping real fast is it's about wise leadership, giving wise direction to that family. And the way, how are you going to develop this wisdom? How are you going to get this wisdom? Yah's word. Yah's word. And like I always say, a good place to start is Proverbs and the book of Sirach in the Apocrypha, otherwise known as Ecclesiasticus in the Apocrypha. not Ecclesiastes in the Bible. Okay? So, and those are two good places to start to really develop yourself into, the man you need to be that's going to just keep that woman attracted to you. But anyway, I hope this was informative. If you got any questions, put them in there. You ain't going to get me mad, if you disagree, whatever. But I appreciate if there's something that you need clarification on or you disagree with, just put it in the questions. With that said, shalom.